The challenges facing our teens today mean that more than ever, we need to be there to support them and encourage them. The Dr. STEM Show is here to provide discussions about topics that will help promote healthy relationships, self-image, and success for teens, parents, and the community. Our young people can achieve more in life than they ever dreamed possible. The Dr. STEM Show, hosted by Dr. Stem Malatini, will foster these discussions and encourage your participation.
You know you're onto something when your book has a foreword that is written by the United States Chess Federation president. The foreword goes something like this: if I were to write a book on chess and the benefits which I personally gained as a result of my everyday experience as a teenage chess player, my book would be very similar to the story told here. Let's Play Chess, which is the book that we'll be talking about today. It says it will inspire you and motivate girls and women worldwide to transfer the chess playing skills into their everyday activities and business development. We do have today as our guest the author herself, who drove in a whole 4 or 5 hours from Jersey City. We have Wendy Oliveras with us. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Dr. Stem. Thank you for having me on your show.
Welcome, welcome. The first time that I saw your information and was reading about inspiration and motivation, those are two words that actually, says a lot about this show. So I know you talk a lot about that. But before we begin, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about your background.
Sure, I would love to. Well, I am an entrepreneur and small business owner. I have a legal search firm in the state of New Jersey, and I recruit lawyers, or I place lawyers in law firms and corporations throughout the country and worldwide as well. I have been personally a chess player for 35 years, and I happen to be fascinated by the game. I actually started learning to play chess when I was 14. My dad taught me, and I've been playing since for the past 35 years.
You place lawyers into firms.
Yes.
As you were talking, I'm thinking you like to do all these jobs that, maybe men might be doing, and here you are. Good for you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good for you. So the book itself was inspired because you are a chess player yourself.
Yes.
Do you play professionally, or it's just...
No, I only play for fun.
Yes.
And I think that is why the book has such, such a root-founded message to women who don't normally play chess. It's not something that we would gravitate towards playing.
Yes.
And so I think that's why the book is so special, because chess, S-H-E-S-S, is a play on the two words, she for female and chess for the game. So basically overall, the book has a foundation to teach women of all ages and backgrounds not to be intimidated by the game and to learn to play for fun.
Yeah.
The skills in that game are just too important to ignore.
I was talking to you before the show, and I remember saying, growing up in Africa, chess was not a game that was even emphasized or available to young girls like myself. It almost was a privilege, game that was for males.
Absolutely.
And, so reading this, I know there are a lot of young women out there, and possibly women that are thinking, chess, it's such a difficult game. What are we to learn about chess, and how does that relate to our life? What would you say to them?
Well, one of the things that is important to note is that in the world, there's about 3% of women who compete professionally in chess.
Okay.
And that's an extremely low percentage.
Yes, it is.
And that signals that there's a major disconnect with the messages of why enough women are not playing. And so one of the things that I want to do through the book is to empower women through chess. And how am I doing that? By demystifying the basics of the game, bringing it down to a level of just simplicity.
Yes.
And not fear the game, because the game is intimidating. When I was first learning at 14, I was afraid of it. I thought it was just for guys. My father played with his buddies and my male cousins, and where I grew up, I didn't see young girls playing.
Yeah.
There wasn't a chess club in my public schools either. The fact is that chess is a logical game that mimics a battle of war between two minds. And I think historically, society has dominated that it's a man's game.
Yeah.
And so we need to change that perception,
Yes.
not in an antagonistic way, but more of a very humble way. And
Yeah.
say, you know, I'm just as smart as anyone else to learn this game. And the earlier you learn it, the more your skill sets develop as you get older.
You're right. So let's start by just, I'm one of those people that has never played chess, one
Yes.
or the other. So this would be my first time in orientation to a chess game as well. And I
Yes.
think the most important thing is to know what's what. Do they have names? I see something that looks like a queen.
Yes, absolutely. Well, basically, each person has there's two players, and
Yes.
each player has 16 pieces.
Okay.
And so there's always a dark and a light to distinguish between the sides.
Okay.
So you have 8 pawns, you have 2 rooks, 2 knights, 2 bishops, a queen and a king, respectively. And so what happens is, with respect to the book and chess, the
Yes.
analogies that I make are very, very clear. And they're relevant because, for example,
Okay.
there's 3 stages to a chess game. There's the open, the middle, and the end game.
Yes.
Just like in life or when you're starting a goal. There's the beginning of setting your goal. There's the middle aspect of the goal, you know, and then there's the end of the goal, which you've succeeded at accomplishing something. Now, in the open phase of the chess game, you focus on concentrating on dominating the 4 squares in the center of the board. And in life, if you have a project or a goal that you're setting,
Yes.
you concentrate on the core of what it is that you're trying to achieve.
Yes.
You want to dominate that core, whether it's you're a student and you want to continue your education, or a housewife and you have secret passions to start a business.
Yes.
There's got to be a core where you have to dominate.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So in the second stage of the game, subsequently, that's where most of the pieces are exchanged, and you're developing your game, your strategies, because at the end of the day, if you capture your opponent's king, you win the game. I mean, that's the logic behind it.
Okay.
The third, and then towards the end of the game, at the end phase of the game, then you have, you know, your final tactics and battles and strategies, and there's always, what I love about chess actually is there's always that element of change.
Yes.
That occurs. And in life, you're thrown things are thrown at you that you don't expect.
Yes.
Often.
Yes.
And so if we as women learn chess, then we're preparing ourselves for unexpected situations in our lives. We're becoming better thinkers and planners. And we're solving our problems with more logical clarity. That's the expectation. But you have to put the effort in. You have to work at it. It's not something that's going to come easy.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
nothing is easy.
I like the concept of that, open middle end and
Yes.
having to conquer the 4 squares.
Yes.
Now let's get back to the teenagers
Sure.
who are in high school and they are at that open phase.
Maybe a 10th grader, perhaps. We can consider
10th grader,
that she's
perhaps.
starting, he or she
Yes,
is starting
yes.
high
What would
school.
they consider to be the core at that level in their life at a high school, as far as
The core would be to make sure that you really establish good grades from the 10th grade. Because a lot of students don't realize that by the time you reach the 12th grade, all of those grades are cumulative.
Yes.
And so before you know it, you have a low grade point average because when you first started, you didn't have a good start.
Yes.
So I recommend that the core for a 10th grader
Yes.
would be focus on your studies. From 10th grade work even harder in the 11th grade, because as the years progress,
Yes.
your work level is more difficult. Stay focused on your studies, because at the end of the day, to get into a good college, your grades are relevant. I mean, they're important. So that's what I would recommend to be the core of the 10th grader in going forward.
That's exactly what I was thinking, that would be the core. That homework, the homework that they have
Yes.
to do, the projects that they have to do, because once you get the strategic, way
Absolutely.
of moving, your opponent
Yes.
and, conquering those four squares,
Yes.
and being able to say, you know what, if I do my homework, if I work with this teacher, if I do the day backs at the
Yeah,
school where,
sure.
where I have my
Sure.
counseling office, they have what they call day backs, where you can make up your work, work with the teachers, and if you're able to do that,
Yes.
and get your grades right, you're right. It makes it easier to deal with life.
And then the thing is too, but the whole object of this, it's important to invest your time.
Yes.
No matter how old you are, but you got to invest time into learning the game, because the strategies, the skill sets that you develop are so invaluable.
Yeah.
Skill sets such as focus and memorization, pattern recognition. Just like in life, if you're a woman who continues to get involved in the same type of negative relationship, well, then that's a pattern recognition.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
not that you have to learn chess to learn that, but the essential concepts are there, and the connections, the analogies are so important that you just can't ignore them.
Like I always tell the teenagers as well, I say, my parents and adults in my life used to say, if only I could give you my heart and my experience,
Yes.
so that it
Yes,
could prevent
yes.
you from experiencing
Absolutely.
what I experienced, then I wish I could do that.
Right.
So I think this is a great opportunity that we are able to give the teenagers, this kind of advice.
Absolutely.
So that they are prepared. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Today we do have Wendy Oliveras, who is discussing with us the game of chess and life. Oh, I have it upside down.
As a youth motivational speaker, author, and coach, Dr. STEM understands that in a world where today's youth and parents are jaded and disappointed by institutions and people they perceive as out of touch with the reality of their lives, motivation is a dose that is much needed. It's time to excel. Dr. STEM Malatini is a refreshing change from the typical speaker. Dr. STEM understands the pressures, heartaches, temptations, hopes, and dreams of the generation that is just now coming of age. Students listen in transfixed silence as she speaks with the clarity and confidence of someone who has worked with teens, parents, and teachers for over 20 years. Her high-energy school assembly programs create a defining moment for schools and provide an experience students never forget. To reserve your seat in one of her coaching sessions, purchase her books, or to book her services, email her at drstemmmalatini@gmail.com or go to her website at www.drstem.org.
Let's play chess. Succeeding in your game of life and business by playing chess from pawn to queen. I know when we started the segment, I forgot to read that where it says from pawn to queen. Can you explain a little bit about that, from pawn to queen?
Sure. From pawn to queen is a metaphor that relates back to an analogy that is very important. It's the core of the book, actually, part 3 of the book. So, for example, in the chess game,
Yes.
the pawn piece is considered the weakest piece. It's worth 1 point.
Yes.
But it has a very special move, and that move is to be able to be promoted. It can promote itself to a queen, a rook, a bishop, or a knight. But for purposes of the book and my analogies in life for women, we'll focus on the promotion of pawn to queen. So with that said, if you strategically move this piece, the pawn piece, from this side of the board completely to the other end,
Yes.
anywhere, it could be in any one of these 8 squares,
Yes.
it gets promoted to a queen. Now the queen, most interestingly, is the most powerful piece in the game.
Okay.
And she's worth 9 points. In life, I say that if that's true in the game,
Yeah.
then the analogy can be that, well, every female born into the world is considered a pawn in life.
Yes.
And only she, because she has very special capabilities and abilities,
Yes.
can promote herself to a queen status in life or in business. Only she can make a change in her life. Only she can be the driver of her own destiny. And I think it's important to highlight from pawn to queen because it's a very powerful statement.
Yes.
It signifies that every girl in this world has special capabilities. I don't care from where you're from. If you believe in yourself and if you take proactive steps to changing your life for the better,
Yes.
you will make that happen. And playing chess helps you to identify with strategies and tactics to not only face your opponent, for example, when you're playing a game of chess, but in life as well.
Yes. Yes.
And that's the beauty of this whole chess ideology is that, you know, we're able to discern different analogies in chess and in life.
I totally would have missed a great point because one of the things I'm thinking the minute that you explain that the pawn is the weakest and it has one
Yes,
point,
yes.
it reminds me of those teenagers that have nothing, that are coming from a background where
Yes.
they're poor.
Very
or
poor,
they're, you know, in a
or-
background where their parents
Or an
don't
orphanage.
have,
Yeah,
they don't
yeah.
have an education, or they have been abused and they're living in a
Right.
home,
Right.
and they
Right.
don't consider themselves, you know, privileged.
Yes.
But to be able to know that it doesn't
Yes.
matter what background you come from,
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter where you are in life, you actually can develop and, you know, get
Yes.
to the point where you're a
Yes.
queen. I think that's powerful.
It's very powerful,
Yes.
and I want to thank you for highlighting it in that
Yes.
fashion.
Yes.
I think that it's important to note also that children are very impressionable.
Yes.
So if they have the right guidance with either parents or whoever their mentors are, it's important to get them in chess classes
Yeah.
so that they can start developing and gaining confidence not only in their abilities but they make new friends. And this is such a clean way to stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a wonderful way.
You're right.
You can buy a game for $6.99, $7.99 nowadays at Toys R Us or whatever, and you just get two kids together and they play and they learn, they learn to respect each other. They also learn, very importantly, how to lose a game with grace and dignity.
Yes.
And that is so important in life,
Yes.
to make mistakes over and over, but hey, you're learning from your mistakes, you're moving on from it, and that is the key message as well in playing chess and in chess, your game of life.
Yes. I remember when we were on break, I tried to move, as I said before, when we started the game, I said I haven't played the game before. So I moved the games just randomly
started
to
playing
move
with
it,
the
and she
pieces.
panicked. She's like, no, you're moving it
Well,
wrong.
I didn't say it quite like that, but that's okay. You moved them out of order, and I said, wait, that's
So,
not... But,
yeah.
but
So
that's the teacher in me.
the whole point of it, which was good that you did that,
Yes.
because I wanted to make it a point that we can
Yes.
point it out to people that even though you know the game or you don't know the game, some of these pieces you will move them and
Sure.
they'll move into the wrong box.
Right.
And there will be someone that knows how the game is played, how life, how to
Right.
do the very thing that you want to try and do in life.
Absolutely.
Or has experienced the same experience that you're trying to experience in
Sure.
life, and they try to correct you. And part of it is being open to it, no matter how it comes. Because I know some teachers mean well, and they come in and, they are the trainers, and they're trying to show you how to move the pieces the
Sure.
right way.
Sure.
That way you'll be able to get to the end. That is your success. That is your
Right.
career. You could be,
Absolutely.
having a business where you're shifting attorneys, but there will be the teachers that you'll need to be open to that,
Yeah. And be flexible.
constructive criticism,
Yes.
and be, flexible to it, and have fun doing it.
That's the key message in chess,
Yeah.
your game of life.
To have
fun. It's all about the approach. Most women are intimidated by the game because they feel they're not smart enough to play, or it's too boring, or it's too time consuming.
Yes.
But I say that's old-fashioned thinking.
Yeah.
And today, if women are not learning chess, then they're missing out on some very important skill sets there. you know, to develop their skill sets
You're
or their
right.
intellectual weaponry, which is what I like to call your skill sets in general.
So on that note, I think as soon as we finish the show, I am going to purchase my first game of chess. I have, 6 nieces that we have, so we are
that's
going to
wonderful.
be, you met one of them.
Yes, she's beautiful.
So we are going to be playing the game of chess. My suggestion for those of you that are listening out today, if you're a parent and you have a daughter or you have daughters or you work in a program, to buy the game and start playing it, because then when you get out of your comfort zone as a parent and start playing it, it also helps you to face your own fears of thinking, am I good enough? Am I, old enough? Am I young enough to be able to understand the way that the game plays?
Absolutely.
And I think that's where the lesson of life is, when we can get out of our own comfort zone and teach the children.
I agree, totally.
Yeah.
I think the most important message, too, is it's not winning or losing. It's not about winning or losing. It's actually, how are you playing your game of life? What are you doing to succeed at whatever it is that you aspire to accomplish in life?
I like that. How are you playing your game of life?
Absolutely.
And what is it that you're doing to accomplish that? We're going to take another quick break. We do have today Wendy Oliveras, who is the author of the book, Let's Play Chess. We'll be right back.
How much difficulty do you have getting your employees or your customers to listen to the solutions you can offer? This may be one of the great frustrations in business. It's time to excel. Dr. Stem now offers solutions with her Soft Skills Leadership Training Program and the Woman's Executive Leadership Training Program. To reserve your seat in one of her coaching sessions, purchase her books, or to book her services, email her at drstemmalattini@gmail.com. or go to her website at www.drstem.org.
We are talking today about how you can enhance your skills to live life, how you can learn different ways of living your life, how you can overcome fear, how you can parent better, how as a teenager you can make the right choices, the right decisions about your life using the game of chess, which is very unusual because, as most of you know, chess is not a game that we talk about on a daily basis. It's not a game that we believe would help us in any other way except it's just a game. Wendy Oliveras is here today telling us that it's not just a game. It's a game that you actually can use to empower yourself, motivate yourself, and most of all, live a better life.
I love that. Thank you. I couldn't have said it better.
So Wendy,
thank you for that.
I know you talked to us about the queen being the most powerful piece on the board, and I remember very well 9 points you get for a queen.
Yes.
Let's expand a little bit about that.
Well, the queen piece is the most powerful piece on the board because she's not restricted in her movement on the board, providing that there's nothing standing in her way to obtain, to capture the opponent's piece, whatever that may be at the moment. Now, in life, when a pawn in life, which is a woman who has incredible capabilities, promotes herself or starts taking proactive steps to promote herself to a queen status in life or in business, that message is really, really important, because what it's signifying is that she's empowering herself to the highest level, most powerful level that she can. No man can penetrate that mindset. No opponent in life can penetrate that. And it's something that is inherent in her, just like in the game. She's powerful, she's confident, she is a goal setter, she is striving to achieve everything that she sets her mind to accomplish in life, or even in business development. You are a housewife who aspires to have a business. So you are a pawn in life, promoting yourself to a queen status in business and in life as well. But starting a business is really the highest level that I use as a primary example of a queen status in business.
In business.
Because you become your own boss. You are you have autonomy, you have independence, you're powerful. You run the show.
I think what I'm thinking now, and we probably, because Wendy's going to be coming back for another segment, she'll be here for another segment, because what she has is a lot that we have to cover. But I'm also thinking, as you're explaining, that if there are men that are watching out there, now they're thinking, now these women are being empowered to the highest level. That means they have all the strengths and skills, and how do we fit in as the men? Would they remember that, they can have us as partners? So talking to the women again, now that you've reached your queen status, how do they differentiate between that soft, loving woman and that powerful woman that we're talking about?
Well, there's many things, many responses that come to my mind right away. But I think more particularly, when a woman empowers herself to the highest level, when she sets in her mind that I want to promote myself to a queen status in life or in business, it is not about a man's perception of you. And that's what we need to stop thinking. We need to really focus on what is important to me right now in this phase of my life. What do I need to do to accomplish my goals? If the gentleman that she's with is not supportive of her, then perhaps it's not someone you should be with. I think that, insecurity stems in many different forms. But at the end of the day, personally, it's not my concern if someone is going to accept that or not in my endeavors to succeed, because that's what I consider an external obstacle. It's an opponent in life that really is not looking to support you and grow with you, but more to, in some form or another, dissuade you from accomplishing your goals.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing too from you is, for the women out there, because then one of the things that most women are fearful of is, what if I don't have a supportive, husband, boyfriend, family? But the thing about it is, for you to be able to have your goal,
control the center.
Control the center. That means sharing, talking to the people and explaining what it is that you're going to be doing, and also seeking their support, but at the same time, going through with your goal anyway.
I think that, again, historically, society has that perception that, when we're born as little girls, we're taught to be submissive and quiet and passive and not be combative in any way, because then we're viewed as bitter and angry and just unhappy and just miserable women. We need to stop that mindset and just focus on, hey, you know what, I need to get done what I need to get done. And whatever that may be, you focus on that.
Yes.
And that's the best advice I have.
We have had a great discussion. As I said, it's something that we need to continue discussing, because I know for a lot of you, there'll be questions on how do I use the chess game? How do I use those skills? So what we're going to do is bring you a second segment that Wendy will be coming back in and discussing with us.
Wonderful.
Let's play chess, the game of life that is succeeding in the game of life and business by playing chess from pawn to queen. How can they get your book, book you for speaking, training, engagements?
Yes.
Where can they get that?
Well, my book is available online worldwide, and it's also available at 4 Barnes & Noble stores in New York City. However, my website is www.playchess.com, and that's the best way to really find out current events, how to reach me as for a speaker or a workshop, a seminar, etc. That would be the best way, is online.
Online.
Yeah.
Excellent. Wendy, it's been great having you.
Thank
what
you.
I would like to do is to have you again repeat where the people can get your book or book you for services, so that they understand and know exactly where to get you.
Sure. My book is available online worldwide. It's on my website, www.playchess.com. And you'll find out all the information, events, and upcoming book signings, etc.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank
we'll
you very
see you
much.
in
I had a
another
wonderful
segment.
time. Thank
Thank
you.
you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.